Are you a female entrepreneur longing to show up as your most radiant, authentic self? Intuitive healer Nina Presman joins us to explain how embracing the divine power of self-love can lead to profound inner peace and prosperity. Stay tuned. I am Gloria Grace Rand, founder of The Love Method and author of the #1 Amazon bestseller, Live, Love, Engage: How to Stop Doubting Yourself and Start Being Yourself. In this podcast, we share practical advice from a spiritual perspective on how to live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically, so you can create a life and business with more impact, influence, and income. Welcome to Live, Love, Engage. Namaste. Today's guest, who I'm bringing on here shortly, is talking about my favorite subject, self-love and how to embrace it fully. And I can't wait to dive into that with her. But first, if you are new here, welcome. I am Gloria Grace, the Light Messenger, and I help female entrepreneurs release negative thought patterns like self-doubt, so you can grow a business that aligns with your soul's purpose. And our guest today is Nina Presman, and she is a successful medical intuitive, healer, and channeler. And as the founder of Anti-Aging Center of Boca, which is in South Florida, Advanced Rapid Healing and Energy Work Unlimited, her desire is to make life better for everyone she can. And I share that desire as well. So without further ado, I'm going to bring her up and officially welcome her.
Hi, everybody.
Live, Love, Engage. I'm so glad you're here, Nina.
So am I.
Yeah. So I'm going to dive right in, actually, because we're going to get to your story in a little bit, but I'm changing things up a little bit here. So I want to dive right in and have you explain to our listeners and viewers why you believe self-love is a divine gift and how we can embrace it fully.
Okay. I have a very interesting story. I'm going to make it really quick. I was really abused as a child. My mother worked for KGB. I never knew love existed. Didn't even understand. I had a dog, but I never had an ability to connect because I was raised as an asset. I was trafficked by my mother. I was not allowed love. And then as I was growing up, I tried to find it in man. I tried to find it in alcohol. I tried to find it in everything. And I never understood. I never understood God. I never understood me. I never understood love. And I guess this is what I signed up for, to find it for myself, because I really went through a tremendous amount of trauma and tremendous amount of disappointments and loss and grief. And I found a soulmate, and he fell off the roof and died. And I felt all alone, always. And one moment, one day, I had several near-death experiences that kind of got me closer to God, but that wasn't it. One day, something woke up. And what woke up was, oh my God, there has to be something better. I am looking in the wrong place. And I think God kind of knocked on my shoulder and said, hello, I'm here. But I really didn't know where to look. The only place I could was inside myself. And then I started realizing that, oh my God, you really need courage to look inside yourself. It's scary. It's scary to look inside and say, oh my God, what? Nobody loves me. I've been a victim my whole life. I've been abused my whole life. Who is going to love me? And then in one moment, all it took was that courage to look inside yourself and say, I can love myself, but who is going to help me? And then I literally heard a voice, and the voice was from God, and the voice said, I will love you. And my next question was, God, how do I love myself 100%? And this is when everything opened up. I cannot even describe to anyone the amount of love and understanding, thought patterns, doors that start opening up when you ask that question. I actually tell people to say it all the time. You don't feel good about something, you just go and ask God, how do I love myself 100%? Because we are through God. The love comes. God is love. God is energy of love. If you don't connect to that, you don't know what love is, really. And we all try so hard to please others and to do good things for others. And we think, okay, if I do this right, okay, maybe if I donate, or maybe if I volunteer, or maybe if I go save animals, or maybe if I just go take care of my sick mother, everything is going to be right because I'm doing the right thing. I'm giving love. But then you feel alone inside and you feel empty. And no matter what you do, it doesn't work. That's only because there is not enough self-love in there. When you say, God, how do I love myself 100%? It creates this energy in your heart that allows you to love yourself so much and starts growing that it starts spilling out of you onto others. Not that you're looking for it somewhere else. It starts growing inside you to the point where you actually want the joy of giving it and sharing it. I started a business and I was terrified. It was like part of my growth. I was absolutely terrified. I had absolutely no money, but I knew I was going to succeed. I didn't know how. And my fear was just draining me until I found, interestingly, Abraham Hicks. And then I was listening and he kept talking about a vortex. And I'm trying to understand, what is the vortex? What is it? And one day I picked up my puppy and I felt it. I felt the vortex was the love. They don't explain, Abraham Hicks does not explain this. That the vortex is the unconditional love. When I felt that love from my dog, all the fear disappeared. All the bad thoughts disappeared. All I could feel was that love. It overcame everything. And I had the aha moment at that time. It was like, God just started showing me these things. It was like, oh my God, any moment of the day when I am feeling sad, depressed, fearful, not good enough, all I have to do is think about holding my dog. Remember that moment. For me, it's a dog. For others, it could be your child. It could be that moment in life where you feel the precious energy and it will take you out of your fear instantly. And from that moment, you can love yourself. You just can grow in it. And all it does, it grows. It's amazing. Our brain is so powerful. Our brain is an AI. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Our brain is going to do what you tell it to do.
Yeah.
We have brain cells in our heart. And we also have something that's called gamma waves. I've learned all that since I opened up to it. Our gamma waves is that when your heart tells your brain how to think and not the other way around. And that's the energy of love. Gamma waves is your God connection in your heart. It's the love connection. It's the love growth. And from there, fear starts disappearing. Diseases start disappearing. So that's how I found love.
I love that. Yeah, and I think that happens so much with people. I think sometimes is that you have to go, they call it like the dark night of the soul, when you've got, maybe you're grieving or something is going on, and then you have to kind of say, okay, how do I get out of this? And it seems like that's sort of was your experience a little
My
bit
every
too.
day was the dark night of the soul.
Oh dear. Well,
I'm not the same person.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
literally not the same person. It feels like I work with people with trauma now.
Mm-hmm.
I love working with PTSD because I learned how to delete it instantaneously. I see things in a different way. I see things in mathematical equations. I can see us like I see the divine energy, but to me, it comes in numbers. and I'm seeing these equations, and I literally delete the equations and I download the equations. And when I do it, nobody understands what I'm saying, but I'm seeing these binary numbers. It's a very interesting gift that I have. But
Wow.
that's programming. I'm actually seeing the programming.
Hmm.
So I have an ability to delete the programs of PTSD, of trauma, of cancer. It's all a program.
Right.
Even getting tickets. When you drive and get tickets, I used to get tickets all the time. I deleted that because I like to drive fast. But that's how it is. So I see everything, but people don't see the numbers.
Hmm.
People are more, I feel it, I see it, I hear it. An interesting thing, the more I start connecting to myself, to my own heart, to
Hmm.
the God energy in my heart, the more it start expanding. The more I
Right.
start asking, in those words, God, how do I? God, how do I find the courage to love myself? That's where you start. God, how do I love myself 100%? God, how do I run my business without fear? Anything you want is God, how do I? Because our soul is a piece of God. So
Hmm.
we have God inside of us. And most people forget that. We think that, okay, God is some guy sits out there in the sky and judges everybody. That's how to me religion looks, and it's nothing like it. Um, Pardon me, but I actually always thought that religion was created for control. If people knew how powerful they were, how powerful each and every one of us is, we would not be able to be controlled by anything. So, of course, separation of a person from God is necessary for control. But we are not separate. We are one. We are one with God. And God
Hmm.
is love. So you are love, I am love. And each one of us has your mind own universe. Like you
Hmm.
in my universe right now, I'm in your universe right now. But I am the most powerful person in my universe.
Right.
And you are the most powerful person in your universe. So in your universe, you're gonna create what you want in your universe.
Exactly.
And it
Yeah.
all starts right here.
I love
Not
that.
out there, in here.
Yeah. In fact, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday just about that. So I love that. And I love how we're so aligned because I believe 100% in what you're talking about. And I'm totally fascinated by your ability, this seeing numbers, and that's definitely a unique way to be able to help someone like that. Um, what I'm going to ask you about this because I was going to ask you something else, but I want to explore that a little bit. So, what happened like the first time that happened? When you started seeing that, and how did you then realize that this was a way to help people?
It started happening gradually. It started happening with my own healing.
Mm.
I asked God when I started realizing that things exist. I started asking questions. When I started asking questions, things start showing up. I had no idea about numbers or any of it. I just thought that there were past lives. I understood there was past lives. I understood there were demons. I understood there were curses. I understood there was entities. I understood that there were things that people talk about. But I did not understand how it all happened. It happened quite gradually. I started learning by listening to Gaia TV and listening to other people channel. And
Mm.
every day I'd come home from work and I would just couldn't get enough. Give me more and more and more and more and more. And I did notice that I had an ozone shower where I bought an ozone generator, and it really helped me a lot because I was in a lot of pain all the time, which is completely gone now. Ozone really helped. And I noticed when I was in the shower, I was able to channel, I was able to hear better. Ozone vibrates at the vibration of God frequency, believe it or not. That's why ozone heals everything. Ozone heals cancer. Ozone is amazing. So when I'm in the ozone, I feel at home. And I come home one day from work and nothing is working. Gaia TV is not working. My YouTube is not working. No shows are working. No videos are working. I'm like, what am I going to do? So, okay, let me go get in my shower. So I turn on my shower and my ozone, and I'm on the ozone, and I hear a voice as clear as day. And it says, if you want to learn, would you want to learn? You have to stop listening to humans. So I'm like, well, who do I listen to? He goes,
Yeah.
me. And who are you? And he introduced himself as Anahim. And Anahim is known in Jewish religion as Elohim. Apparently, he is in charge of humanity. He is a part of God's consciousness. They are Anunnakis. People think that Anunnakis are aliens. They are, but they are not what people think they are. They actually, this is what was explained to me. And this is where my learning process started. I start listening and I start learning and I start understanding the programs. Basically, the first thought was understanding that my mind can create programs, my mind can delete programs, and my mind can reinstall programs. Understanding that was the key, because once I got that, once my brain was able to grasp it, I was able to do it. So I was born with a heart condition. It's actually extremely rare. It's chronic, it's incurable, and they don't know if it's genetic or not. I think they got it because my mother was doing some kind of chemicals when she was pregnant with me. So he created a short in my electrical system and my nervous system. And they were not sending the right signals to my heart. So my heart would just flatline for 30 seconds and then start beating 250 beats a minute. And I had 3 strokes from it when I was 30. And then I had another one when I was 53. That was my near-death experiences. The first thing I wanted to do was remove that. And when I was able to remove that by counting the programs, and I'm not really sure how I was doing it, it was just given to me. I started realizing that, okay, the numbers that we know on Earth are very tiny. Infinity is a tiny number. It's a very limited, tiny number. So these numbers that I started giving, so I started asking more, and I started getting more numbers. And I realized that I can break up the particles. I didn't have to count the particles, but there's programs in multitudes. So what I started doing was I would ask God, I would say, God, please download something that I say. Let me see, how do I say this? So let's say if I want to split the energy of fear, okay? So is it, God, please download so much number of so many programs, each particle with infinite numbers of supermaster programs, conscious energy supermaster contracts to split all the particles on 4 and send the pieces to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, and then return and reconnect again. And things start disappearing.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow. That's
Now I
amazing.
can do it much shorter. I just go, God, please split the particles in 4,
Right.
because my brain already knows how to bypass it. But at first
Yeah.
I go. Everything took a while. I tried. There was a guy he gave me. He did this NET with the vials. You know when they put. Do you know those therapy? They do test you for allergy with it.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Allergy. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
And he gave me vials to play with.
Hmm.
He said, "Give me a whole box of vials. Go see what you discover."
Hmm.
Within 3 days, I was able to put the vials away and just use my brain to do it
Wow.
without the
That's
vials.
amazing. Very good. Cool.
So,
All right. Well, let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna dive back in. That was fascinating and so amazing. So you're clearly, possessed with gifts in a lot of area. But I do want to circle back to self-love, because I want to talk
yeah.
a little bit more about that. And I want to ask you when, I think a lot of people, they hear talk about self-love, but they don't really know just why it's so important for us to really spend time and really appreciating who we are and knowing that we're here for a purpose. So I guess the question I want to ask you is to explain a little bit more about why it's so important for us to really fall in love with ourselves, for lack of a better way of saying it.
That's what we're here for. It's our purpose, main purpose. Enlightenment, I've always asked God, Anahim, What is enlightenment? Well, enlightenment equals unconditional self-love.
Mm.
We come here in physicality to expand. We come here to learn, and we come here with programs that are already contracts, programs that are already pre-written. They are already going to happen. We already gonna know we're gonna get hurt. We're gonna get abused. We're gonna get, some of us more than others, because some of us sign up for more because we want to learn more. Like, I'm very grateful to my mother. Without my mother's tortures, I would have never pushed so hard to learn how to love myself. She was my biggest catalyst.
Mm.
But realizing that these bad things happen only because we come here to experience them, because our goal is to find the unconditional self-love. Now, why is it so important? Because when you are alone, when you are at home or wherever you are, and when you sit and you feel, I'm a victim, or I'm so lonely, or this is not enough, or why doesn't anybody love me, or why does this happen to me? Wouldn't it be nice for that not to exist? When you have the self-love, the real, it doesn't even have to be unconditional. Unconditional is very hard to, haven't gotten there. I don't want to say I can't. Where I'm at on my journey, I'm not there yet. But I know I'm getting there. That's my goal. But loving myself, knowing that everything is my choice and my responsibility. When you love yourself, there is no victim consciousness. There is no poverty consciousness. There is no fear of not being loved. There is no fear of being alone. And there's no boredom, interestingly, because you always find something to entertain yourself with. My husband really has seen such a huge change in me, but I gotta tell you, I don't need a person or anything near me or with me or anything with me. My life became so full of understanding how to love myself that everything else just became a pretty accessory. Does that kind of make sense? I'm trying to put this in a way so that
Yeah.
people can understand.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think that's the key thing is that, yeah, when you love yourself, it does make everything else so much easier to deal with, because you know that you have inherent wisdom within you, and when you cultivate that connection with your higher power, that you can also lean on that higher power for help and guidance, and as you've done and talked about here on the show as well. So yeah, you're never alone.
You're
Even
never
when you think
alone.
you're alone, you're not. Yeah.
I have clients, couple of women and we talk, and different people from different cultures, and
Hmm.
a lot of people are brought up to be, okay, you have to be nice to others, you have to cater to others, you have to watch what people say about you. Can I say this? Screw that. Screw that. Who cares what anybody says about you if you love yourself?
Mm,
That's the advantage. Nobody can get under your skin.
right.
They can tell you, people mirror themselves onto others. So when somebody tells you you're a thief, that's probably because the person steals. Somebody calls you a liar, that's because they are a liar. That's just how it works. People judge others by who they are. So when you love yourself, it doesn't affect you because you know who you are. So you look at the person, you're going to say, oh, okay, yeah. So when was the last time you stole something? You get that their comments and their conversations or their gossips or their judgments are basically about them. So, whew, that's right. This is one less thing to worry about.
Yeah,
What do people say?
yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Fear can't get you when you love
Right.
yourself. Like when we had COVID, not for one day I thought I was ever going to get it. I never get it. I never had, of course, a vaccine, but if I did, I knew that I would be able to delete it. That's probably another advantage. But I saw so much fear in people. covering the faces. That was worse than the COVID itself. The fear was the disease, not the COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
That evil in the world was trying to kill the self-love. We're going through revelations right now. We're lifting up in a very high vibrational state. I don't think too many people know this. In 2026, this is what I channeled. And so far, everything I channeled came. COVID came, everything came. We're going to be in a new state of being. We're going to have completely new energy here. January 21st, I'm sorry, not January, December 21st of 2025. Basically, if you want to call it a matrix of evil, get turned off. We are in the second coming. So I'm talking about more mathematically like matrix, but we are in the second coming. So we are going right now through stages of awakening, and everybody's waking up at their own pace. And awakening can be difficult. It's a healing crisis. It's an emotional, it can be physical, like people getting sick. Nobody knows why they're sick. It's because the old energy is coming out. The third dimension has been over since 2012. We started moving out of third dimension. We got into fifth dimension. It was 2020 on November 11th. From then, we've just been going up and up in vibration. You go up in vibration. Everything that was in you from a lower vibration has to come out. It cannot make it up there with you. So it's going to terrorize you a little bit. This is where it's very important to always say, God, how do I love myself 100%? Because that will get you through the healing crisis. But everybody has to remember, we are going up right now. We're going to, like, in the prayer, it says, on earth as it is in heaven. It starts in 2026.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you is, if someone listening to this today wants to be able to do what you're suggesting, but they're still not quite sure how to start, what would be the first thing that you would tell someone to do?
I'm going to show you guys a meditation, really quick one. Okay. So we're going to put our hands like this, and we're going to press into the heart, right in the center. Okay. Now you're going to close your eyes and breathe in, focus in, breathing in into this spot. Deep breaths in, and then deep breaths out. And as you're breathing, focus all the energy up from your body into the spot, right into your heart. And think about love. Or you can think gratitude. So you're going to breathe in gratitude. And breathe out. What I'm doing right now is activating your guys' gamma waves, and you're doing it yourselves. I think some of you might have already started shifting. You do this 3 minutes a day, every morning. Set your alarm. It's going to take you to the new place. Anytime you feel fear, anytime you feel out of yourself, that's what you do. That's where you start. This is gamma waves.
I love that. Yeah. And it's so easy because we breathe all the time. It's just now a matter of really refocusing that and focusing on the heart. And I think that's so important. And as you say, think about love. And if you don't have anyone in your life right now, think about a time when you did love someone, a lot. Or if you do have a pet, I got a sleeping cat next to me I can think of.
I prefer a pet because they're unconditional.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a baby, a newborn baby.
Yeah,
it's
that's
that
true.
moment where you're holding the baby in your heart. And
yeah, absolutely. Oh, so cool. Oh my goodness, we've covered a lot here today, and it's been amazing. And I know there's people listening to this today and or watching that would might want to connect with you and learn more about what you do. So I didn't get a chance beforehand to ask. I know you have like 2 different websites, but I'm gonna see if I guessed right. So which
Actually, I have
would be the
3.
best place for people to, oh, you have 3. Okay. Which would be the best place for people to reach out to you?
Actually, you can call me directly on the phone.
Oh, okay.
It's 561-654-0177. I don't mind phone calls. You can text me.
Okay.
Because the right people will always text the right. It just happens. That is my website, 𝘀𝗶𝗵𝗵𝗫𝗀𝗃. I also have energyworkunlimited.com, and my emails are just as easy. It is energyworkunlimited@gmail.com.
All right.
Just
Excellent.
think unlimited.
Yeah.
Just think
I like
unlimited.
that.
I don't believe in
Yes.
limitations.
Very good. Yeah. Well, I will be sure and have all that information in the show notes, so not to worry. So if you're listening to this somewhere where you can't, jot that information down, just go back to liveloveengagepodcast.com and find this episode, or wherever you're watching on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform, and find this episode and you'll be able to get it. So thank you so much, Nina, for being with us and sharing your amazing gifts and knowledge with us. I really do appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Wow.
It's my
And I
pleasure.
do.
Love being here.
Well, we loved having you as well. And I do want to thank all of you for watching and for listening. And it's been a pleasure bringing you another episode. And next week, you're going to get me by myself. And I'm going to be talking about identity next week. So I hope you'll join us. If you're watching live on Facebook and LinkedIn, join us there. Otherwise, you can listen again on your favorite podcast platform. So until then, I, as always, encourage you to go out and live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically.